Cricket is the second largest sport in the world, behind football, being enjoyed by over 2.5 billion people across 180 countries, also being the national sport of England. I'm a long-time cricket enthusiast, coming from Nottingham, where the sport is quite popular, with Trent Bridge being the focal point. But in Merseyside, this is different. There's no big stadium, and you very rarely hear about the sport. I will look to investigate why this is the case, comparing the sport in Merseyside to my home city of Nottingham. I've come back to Clifton Village Cricket Club, where I first started playing for a team over 10 years ago. This is one of 23 teams that compete for the Nottinghamshire League every season. In comparison, the Liverpool District League only has 12 teams, ranging from Ormskirk to Wigan. I used to play cricket with Jonathan, who believes the facilities and the large offer of clubs is a key reason for the sport's popularity in Nottingham.
I'd say the more clubs you've got, the more people you're going to bring in. The more people who will see it, the more people want to join. Whereas if you've got a place where you've not really got the opportunity to join those clubs, people aren't really going to know much about it, and you're going to have less people who actually know what cricket is, or who will want to play cricket because they don't see it as an opportunity because it's not there for them. Whereas here, we have, as you said, 2 clubs. People are going to want to join more because they've got that opportunity to them. They get to see what it's all about. Like here, if you're driving past, you see people playing cricket. Whereas I'm going to guess in Liverpool, you don't see that at all.
A lot of people get into their chosen sport or hobbies from a young age. When I was in year 5, the All-Stars cricket programme came into my school and introduced me to a form of the sport called quick cricket. This was played with plastic stumps, plastic bats and a softer ball like this, making the sport safe for your younger age group. The campaign was created by the England and Wales Cricket Board to boost children's participation in the sport.
So one of the real benefits of the All-Stars programme is it tries to remove that fear of getting involved in cricket. So we know that families play a massive part in getting their child to play cricket from the start. And if you think as a parent of a child, where does this all start? So it probably starts at the local cricket club down the road. Now, that's a very daunting thing for a parent to take their child to, because they often, from the outside looking in, they often seem real sort of closed shop community groups, don't they, cricket clubs? And you know, you're never going to attract families to that because a lot of them are quite sort of standoffish from it. You know, the cricket club down the road, they're absolutely fine. We won't bother them. We won't get involved there because I'm sure, you know, they're all really happy there and they're playing their cricket and whatnot with the sandwiches and their cups of tea. So what All Stars does really well is it sort of breaks that down. It takes the label away from the cricket club, so it's more generic and fun, and it doesn't really attach itself to the cricket club at all until you get the parents there. And then the main thing that All Stars asks from the cricket club is that they make that first welcome really warm and sort of accepting.
In Nottingham, All Stars is promoted by Trent Bridge, whereas in Merseyside, there isn't a large enough body to effectively raise awareness for those looking at getting into cricket. Merseyside is a successful sporting region, hosting 2 major football clubs, a strong rugby league setup, and being a driving force for the rise of darts. I spoke to Connor Kane of Darts Now to find out why the sport is so popular in the region.
I think Merseyside has always been a huge dart to pop in anyway. You think of the people who've come from Merseyside, you've got Michael Smith, former world champion, Grand Slam champion. You've got Stephen Bunton, who's just won his first PDC major in the Masters. You've got Dave Chisholm, another huge name. You've got Alan Tabben. For some reason, the Northwest, especially Liverpool and Merseyside, is a huge darted hotbed. I think when you've got big player names from a certain region, that's only going to do wonders for the sport in that particular region. I mean, Michael Smith, you know, is in the Premier League every single year. I think he got the freedom of the city of St Helens last year. So that just tells you that because of what he's doing in darts, it's transcended into Merseyside culture.
I'm at Liverpool Cricket Club, where their former chairman, Jeremy Klein, believes there needs to be a big name in the sport to inspire the next generation, like there is in darts and football. Behind me is Ormskirk Cricket Ground, where local lad Tom Hartley learned his craft before making the next step. From here, Tom would join Lancashire and then the Manchester Originals in the 100, earning himself a call-up into the England squad.
Oh, he's gone, Ashwin!
On his debut in India, the left armour burst onto the scene, taking a staggering 7 wickets in the second innings. In my hand is a cricket ball signed by Stuart Broad. The Nottingham man became one of England's greatest ever bowlers and inspired me amongst many in the region.
Must be massive. He must be massive because he sort of, I know his dad played for England as well, so I think he was always onto always onto a winner with that. But in terms of inspiring the local people, he's a massive Forest fan as well, isn't he? So people can really relate to him. His bowling style is really sort of, you know, he's a big bloke and he properly sort of charges in, doesn't he, and picks his knees up. So yeah, I think a massive seamer playing for England. Kids are going to want to be that, aren't they? And then I think there's other really good examples as well. So Fletcher, who's playing for Notts currently, he was from Bulwell, which is in the city. The role models are definitely there in Notts. We probably should make more use of them, I think.
The question is, can Tom Hartley inspire the next generation of cricketers in Merseyside?
He's got a lot more to offer. He's only in his early to mid 20s, so he's not, he's not the finished article yet, but he's got a lot to give. What Hartley did in India, alongside Rayan Ahmed and Shoaib Bashir, are showing a lot of promise as well. But I think what Hartley did shows that he's very much one for the future.
The upper class image cricket has could be a factor as to why the sport isn't taught in schools, apart from private schools, putting many people in the region at a disadvantage.
Private schools can afford very good facilities with groundsmen who keep wickets where you can learn cricket rather than minefields. And of course, it's also an expensive game. So when they get to the age when they might enter, say a batsman reaches the age when counties are looking for talent, the one at the private school is going to be more developed, even if the state school teaches cricket, because the facilities are going to be so much better. You can't learn batting on a wicket which isn't prepared by a groundsman, as would be the case in most secondary schools.
In Nottingham, cricket is taught in most schools due to a mixed class system and a higher demand.
More got to know what it was about and how to actually play cricket, and it wasn't just one of those where how do you play it there at school. You could take it to, say, if you're going out with your mates to a park or something, you could play it there and then. So it's one of those that just carries on. It's a fact that just can keep carrying on to later on in life, and it's just, I'd definitely say in having it in schools and learning it in schools was definitely really fun. I'd say it's really fun, and it's just not fun. Again, as I said, you're learning about how to play cricket, so it's definitely a big factor into the beginning, I guess you could say, and how to make a start towards everything.
Despite going under the radar, there's still a strong league set up in the region with a dedicated following.
What I find is that the people who like it really like it, and the quality of the club competition here is very high. I think that's widely recognised within the game, and it is a really popular and really high quality competition. A lot of the clubs are sort of based outside of the city itself, but all sort of around the Merseyside area in general. There's a lot of really, really high quality clubs producing excellent players.
Cricket in Merseyside hasn't quite broken into the mainstream the way it has in Nottingham, due to factors such as it not being taught in schools as much, the upper class image the sport has, and the huge popularity of sports such as football and darts. That being said, cricket is still a lot more popular in the region than people may realise, with dedicated fans and the sport being played to a very high standard across the league, as shown most recently by Tom Hartley. I'd urge those in Merseyside to give cricket a go if they've ever thought about it, whether that's through the All-Stars programme, going to a local club, or just watching games. Who knows, it could even one day break into the mainstream.